Please be seated. Those victims are not only United States victims, they are global victims. Another sign to the cost of terrorism and the obligation of the free world to fight terrorism. Because if we are not going to fight it now, we are going to pay high price later, and the price will go higher and higher. It was May 2001 when the siren caught me in the Israeli Air Force headquarters. I was the commander of the Air Force. And siren means that something wrong starts to happen. 3 minutes later, I was down in the command station, and I was told that an intruder is going to cross the Israeli airspace coming from Lebanon, and we don't know anything about him. We are tracking him. And I ordered to launch a pair of F-16 to escort this intruder. They found him crossing the border nearby Rosh Hanikra, is the northern point of Israel, along the seashore, along the Mediterranean. And the pilot reported to me that it's a light airplane with a single pilot. And I asked them to escort him and to see what's going on. The first thing that crossed my mind was Tel Aviv. I thought that unknown airplane, he is not identifying himself, not answering to the calls, to the radio calls, etc., means that he has something in his mind which is not according to our plans. The F-16 leader told me that he's flying too slow for F-16, and I ordered to launch a pair of Apache helicopters. And 15 minutes later, they escorted him along the seashore and reported on every single move of the pilot and the airplane. And such an event is a nightmare of any commander, because you are in a dilemma. Are you going to shoot an innocent airplane, or you are not going to shoot a hostile airplane? And to shoot down a light airplane, that's not something that we are happy to do on a daily basis. And only on very rare occasion we are doing those things. Anyhow, the first thing that crossed my mind was that someone wanted to suicide in the middle of Tel Aviv. And I asked General Mofaz, who was my commander, I was the chief of the Air Force, he was the chief of staff, to get approval from the Prime Minister. And when the approvals received, I told him that I'm going to shut him down once he's going to enter to the circle of 20 miles from Tel Aviv. And the approval was given. And when he crossed the 20 miles line, I ordered to shut him down, and he was shut down by the Apache helicopter. It was May 2001. That was kind of routine of the Israeli Air Force to be ready against any unidentified aerial threat and to shoot him down. The first event happened in 1972. A Libyan passenger airplane was shot down. It was a mistake. And 162 civilians were killed on this case in 72. It was found as a mistake later, but it was a mistake. It was 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We were discussing Air Force activities against the Palestinians on September 11, 2001, when one of my officers came to my office and told me that an airplane collided into one of the twins. I stopped the session, we went to the breaking news, and it was obvious. It's not a collision, it's a terror attack. I told this morning that one of the first conclusions, and it came day after the September 11, was to restructure the plans or replan the plans for the Israeli Air Force headquarters, and instead of 28 stories building, we reduced it to 18, just to reduce the signature of the building as a headquarter. September 11 changed the world. And I think that the outcomes of this terror attack are still valid, and it will take years to come to the conclusion that it's over, if it will over. I don't think that terror is going to vanish from the world. Terror is an everlasting phenomena, and as long as people live on earth, we will find terrorism in this way or another. And terrorism, it's not new to us. But ideological terrorism and fundamental Islam terrorism is relatively new to us. Relatively, not to those who have good memory, but relatively new to us. The Islamic Brotherhood was founded around 90 years ago, in 1920 in Egypt. And the target of those radical Muslim organizations is to control the world, in a way, at least to convert us. And I believe that most of us don't want. Democracies has the right to survive. And democracies has to fight in order to survive. Because I think that the fight is not between terrorists and non-terrorists. The fight is between culture, religion, tradition, way of life. And if we want to keep our way of life, of freedom, of free market, of free society, the right to move, the right to express ourselves, etc., 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 we have to stand up and to fight back. And I think the state of Israel is doing it for the last 63 years of independence, and we are not tired of it, because the alternative doesn't exist. So we have to continue and do it until we'll achieve a status quo which is acceptable to us. And I think that the rest of the world should do it. And the rest of the world, I'm mainly speaking about the Western